Welcome to the AGC podcast. If you don't know us already, the Akuta Group of Companies is a British interior design collective with a portfolio of 6 international award-winning design brands. I'm your host, Tori, and in this pod we'll be revealing exactly what it takes to build a global design collective that works in some of the world's most exclusive postcodes. You'll meet the talented individuals behind each brand, as well as the many interesting people that have joined us along the way. Stay with us to hear more about how we got here, where we are going, and how we plan on being a force for good in this world of possibilities.
So today we are welcoming Rebecca Lazar, who is Business Development Manager for the Architecture and Interior side at Technogym. So Technogym, I don't think needs any introduction. I think most people have heard of it. It's a huge household name. But probably to surprise is just how wide-ranging you are. So spread across over 100 countries, I think it is.
That's right. We have boutiques in most of the major megacities now, and we're growing them day by day.
So then I read up on Technogym and how it started, and you were founded in 1983, built from a passion of technology and sport, and then combined to make Technogym.
Absolutely. That's technology and gymnasium, the traditional Roman gymnasium, this idea of like a community center that's about health and wellness, and then combining that with technology. That was the original.
Which must have been so ahead at that time, because it was probably like really basic gym equipment that would have been in use. And then suddenly there's sort of the technology element brought into that and making it.
100%. And I think that's in a way sort of the guiding force. You can see how that's become more and more the reality of the company. It was founded in our current president, our founder's garage.
He's still involved in the business.
Absolutely. Amazing. He lives and breathes it, our best ambassador, and he works full-time as the president still.
Incredible. Yeah. So, because health and wellness is such a big focus for interiors at the moment, we thought it would be great to get you on and just sort of delve into the subject a little more. So
with pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
My passion. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Lovely. Well, how we start every podcast is asking for your favourite drink. So today we have...
I have a green juice.
A lovely green juice. But sadly, I think it's the morning recordings sadly restrict us with
That's right.
we can really have.
But I'm going to say it is hard stuff. It is delicious.
It is good. Yeah.
Nothing hard.
Picked well.
But,
we're all enjoying.
Lots of vitamins.
Exactly.
There's good stuff.
Great way to start the day. And for health and wellness, it's perfect for the topic.
That's right. We have to keep wellness in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit more about your role at Technogym?
Yeah, with pleasure. So my role is to work with architects and interior designers on the design-driven projects that we do inside of Technogym. So I always say that my passion is to bring more wellness into the design world, and to bring more design into the wellness world.
Yeah,
and I think the two go hand in hand.
So next question would be, what's the importance of wellness within our lives?
It's a really great question, because I think it's an area where awareness has grown so much over the past couple of years, but will continue to grow over the next couple of decades. I think if we did like a little thought experiment and I asked you, okay, so say pharmaceutical company X has done a press release, they've developed a drug, you have to take it 3 to 4 times a week, and we have proven results that it's going to extend your lifespan, it's going to protect you from degenerative disease. As a brilliant side effect, it's going to give you great hormones that are going to make you happier and make you able to better regulate your emotions. How would you respond?
You would take it.
You would take it. You would take it. And it turns out that drug is exercise. Exercise is medicine.
Which I totally agree with you. But I think there's so many times where you feel you get in this sort of... Sometimes it's hard to get yourself out of the headspace and into the headspace of actual exercising and fitness and working out, and it's so easy when you're in the routine. It's so easy, and then as soon as you've slipped out of that routine, it's so easy to not get it back into life.
So true. And I think a lot of the innovation that's coming down the track now is about making it easier for people to keep those routines. But I also think we're moving from a mindset where exercise and wellness used to be really the individual's responsibility into a space where now I think we all have a role to play into making those spaces friendlier, more inclusive for more people.
Yeah.
And incorporating wellness, we were joking about taking the stairs.
Yes.
On the
yeah, exactly.
How do we add those
Things like that.
wellness into our designs, into our lives?
Yeah.
And
into every day you can bring it, but it's having that thought of what else could you do to make it fitness related rather than just, taking the easier option, I guess.
Exactly. We have this saying inside of the company, and it's healthy people, healthy planet. So we've all taken on this mindset of that it's a social responsibility to have a healthy planet.
Yeah.
So why is it an individual's responsibility only, like a pass or fail? That they should look after their health and their exercise. And if you fall out of that routine, you're like, oh, I failed somehow.
Yeah.
I think we need to take the same, positive social attitude towards.
Yeah, which is so interesting. It's also so mental, isn't it? Rather than just physical as well.
Yeah, it absolutely. And then it goes both ways, the routines, it helps your mentality, the exercise itself, it helps your mentality, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
Self-reinforcing.
Yeah, exactly. It is, isn't it? So because one of our brands covers the build to rent sector, and so we've noticed sort of changing landscape in apartment living, particularly because that's sort of the area where we're working. Have you noticed that too as well in Technogym?
Absolutely. I think you cannot notice that.
Yeah.
And all of us, living in urban centers as well, there's so much space now for innovation in apartment living, and how we're building our cities and how people are renting. Build to rent is really at the forefront of that. You guys are probably much closer to that than I am, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. But in terms of, how Technogym can be a part of that experience and incorporating wellness spaces into those spaces, I think the idea of community and wellness are really connected. So when I'm speaking to designers about designing gyms for build to rent, it's not just about ticking a box anymore, but it's about how are we going to get people to use the space and congregate there, and how is that going to be another aspect that builds community inside of these spaces. So whether that's, taking it down to the detail, creating soft seating breakout points where people can sit and talk together. Something that used to be done in the change room, but maybe that wouldn't be the case in a home gym, let's say.
Well, we have that a lot. So we are designing the amenity spaces. So with that, we're often sort of either liaising with the gym company or being asked who we think we should use.
Right.
And we would come to you guys to use you, because it's just, there is now so much synergy between the spaces and the exercise fitness space. But like you said, sort of bringing that into the other amenity spaces and how it can all feel just sort of all interconnected and all as one, and it's all about design for that.
So happy to hear you say that, because that's exactly how I feel about the situation as well. If our goal as a company is not just to place equipment in buildings, but for people to use the equipment and feel healthier and feel better, design is such a huge part of that. So making spaces that people want to be in.
It's a shame
everybody can use.
And it's a shame when you see, because some of the spaces that we've seen have tiny little spaces for the gym, and it ends up being sort of 3 or 4 machines, and you think, well, if there's X amount of people living in here, it's not going to be sufficient, and people aren't going to be, you're not excited by the equipment in there, because you know exactly what you're going to get. So they need to be bigger spaces as well, which I think on the most part we've seen them growing. I think they're just becoming more and more popular.
Absolutely. And I think part of that is designers and architects getting more excited about the wellness spaces and wanting to be more involved in that process from the beginning. I think where gyms do run into trouble is if it gets to the very end of a project, let's say, and say, oh, we need a gym. What do we have left?
Let's fill that space
here. And, everything is beautiful. Everything is designed. And you might end up with, white walls and terrible lighting. And we can design a beautiful piece of equipment to put inside of it.
Still going to
inspire people to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's really, really, really heartening to hear that you guys as designers are excited about that and do want to put that attention to detail into spaces.
And what are the current trends in wellness at the moment, or sort of are you seeing any current trends at Technogym?
Definitely. There's so many, I have to say, but one that I'm really interested in is this idea of wellness on the go. So having that optionality And it comes back to what we were talking about, being able to keep your routine intact, having that optionality of where you train. So can I take my routine with me when I'm on a holiday, at the hotel, or even on the beach? In the office, easier. At home. Having that sort of 360 access to wellness is something that's becoming more and more possible. From our side, we're trying to make that possible through the digital ecosystem as well.
Okay.
And so we have, for example, the Technogym app. And that's, if I was to give you an example now, I can log in. If I'm in the gym, say in one of your build-to-rent complexes, I can log into the equipment there. And my trainer, through the app, can tell me how to train.
So you have the same trainer? You'd have someone sort of...
It's an AI trainer, actually.
Okay.
I know.
So they can tell you whatever you need to, what you should be doing.
They can give you a routine based on what equipment you have available. So you don't have to have the same things in every space. But it will always be tailored to you and what your goals are. So I travel a lot for my job, but wherever I go, as long as I have Technogym equipment or even no equipment, I can use the app to sort of stay within my engagement. And my workouts.
So you've really got no excuse to be working out wherever you go.
That's right.
You can't take it with you.
Why should training be a burden? It should be fun.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, well, sort of on that topic of home working and wherever you go, do you think, because obviously there's been the whole hype of bikes at home, and over lockdown there was, a huge, I think everyone started getting the bikes to work out at home. But do you think home workouts are here to stay?
I do, actually, but not in the same way.
Yeah.
I think, again, it's about that optionality. So people want to maybe have, I know I'm going to be at home for 3 days, for example. I'm just going to train at home because I'm working from home on those 3 days.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do all my workouts from home.
Yeah.
Because our lives have expanded again,
Yeah, because you don't know where you're going to be later in the week, and maybe you'll be in the office, or maybe you'll be somewhere else, and you want that flexibility, I guess.
Flexibility, I think, is the key word there. So having something at home is great.
Yeah.
But I don't think people are going to only work out at home now.
No.
I think, speaking of trends in wellness, I think another trend coming off of the individual is how do we create experiences in wellness, when we're talking about fitness centers or office gyms.
Well, office gyms. So we've got downstairs at Mortimer House, we've got the gym, which is all Technogym as well.
Fabulous.
So obviously, naturally, it helps for you guys.
And after this.
But have you got any tips of how we can bring fitness or wellness into the office? I know we discussed earlier, you mentioned about the lift, and at your office, it says, try not to use the lift. It discourages people, which is great, and try and use the stairs and little things like that. But are there any other tips that you think people can bring in?
I think in the next 5 to 10 years, having a gym in the office is going to be the standard.
Yeah.
Because people are going to want to, again, have that optionality. But I think what can be really fun, actually, is creating communal experiences for employees. So say you don't even have a single piece of equipment in your office, you can still have a corporate wellness program. And that's something that Technogym can do as well, where you can create challenges for the team. So who's going to take the most steps this month?
Okay.
Oh, it's a
good idea.
Kind of like, we do a lot of it, obviously, inside of our company. Different challenges, different group activities together. So you have probably the individual side, but then also the team side, which is super motivating. And I think it's also about making it inclusive for everybody. Yeah. As well.
What about, do you think, I know we touched on it before, but the bouncing balls, do you think for having those instead of chairs, do you think we should also...
That's what I sit on.
But we can make a little tweak by doing something like that. Or challenges.
Challenges is a super example. When you sit on that, your core engages, your posture improves.
Yeah.
You sit on that for 1 hour a day. That's just something small, a small detail in office that improves everybody's well-being. And bringing these things into the office is important for employers as well. We hear a lot now about back to work and how to get people to the office. That's one side of it. But then there's also the benefits of productivity, improved mental well-being,
Yeah.
improved team communication, wellness can have an impact on
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you're involved on that side as well, or there's more perks that you can get involved with, that maybe is even a small challenge of the day, but it makes the day a bit more fun, and you want to come in, there's something that you're all together for as well. So
100%, we've been through this period of work from home, and I think we found some benefits there and some benefits of being back in the office.
Yeah.
But one thing that I hear a lot is that people want to find ways to connect with their teammates.
Are there any other tips that you could let us know about bringing into the office, or anything that your head office sort of integrates into the
environment? Absolutely. So you brought up our head office. In our office there, we work from 8 to 6, and we have a 2-hour lunch, and 1 hour is for training. So the entire company files into the beautiful tutorial design gym that we have there and trains together for 1 hour every day.
Is it a class that goes on, or it's sort of up to everyone what they want to do?
Both. So there's multiple classes happening. So if you walk through the gym, you'll see people doing like a rowing race. You'll have other people doing a spin class. You might have people doing a HIIT class.
Yeah.
And then you have other people just training what they want to train that day. Maybe it's strength or cardio or functional training. But yeah, there's a little bit of everything, and everybody really does get involved, and it's a huge part of the corporate community for us.
Yeah, that's incredible, because I think getting everyone up and going out can sometimes be quite hard as well, and you probably get the occasional people that don't want to leave and are quite happy to sit at their desk during lunch. So it's great that it's sort of, the more people do it,
everyone else
wants to do
everybody feels welcome, and I think it just improves the mood in the office.
Yeah, exactly. The afternoon mood will be so much better after that. Very, very productive afternoon, I think.
Exactly.
We actually do our own AGC HIIT classes as well. So on a Tuesday and Friday in the morning, people can join that as well. So it's on, it's still on Zoom. So it makes it so we can either do it in the office downstairs, or if you're at home. So it's flexible to do.
That's brilliant.
And then I think there used to be, or there is going to be, the introduction of Pilates as well, maybe.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's encouraged in our office as well. And obviously the gym downstairs makes it too easy, so there's no excuse.
I love that. I love to hear that, and I really think this is the future.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you predicting as the future trends of wellness, or future trends with Technogym?
Well, we're always working on something new and exciting. We never want to rest on our laurels, so we always want to be at the front edge of science behind the products as well. One thing that I'm really excited about at the moment, that I think has the potential to change the way that we train and to change the industry, is a product called BioStrength and BioCircuit.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It's a strength product.
Yeah.
But instead of your traditional plate-loaded strength machines, it's actually got a patented resistance technology inside. So there's no plates. It can read how much resistance you're giving it, and it can adjust accordingly.
So as you're doing the exercise, it will adjust how much strength you need, basically.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And it will measure whether you're preferencing one side over the other, so you can adjust on that side. So all it needs to know is your body size, so you sit on it once and you can measure up, and then what your goals are. So maybe you want to build lean muscle, maybe you want to build bulkier muscle, maybe it's about longevity, and then it will adapt your training program to the level that you're at on that day.
That's so
it's the next frontier in efficiency.
When I was working on a private home project, and we had the mirrored, is it the Kinesists? They're amazing. Oh my God. It's so beautiful as well. And it was in such a nice room, and it was just mirrors all around as well.
It's my favorite product in the collection.
That was going to be my next question, actually.
We're right into it. One, because it's designed by Antonio Citterio, who's a fabulous architect, fabulous designer. I'm a bit of a design junkie myself.
Yeah.
It feels at home in any home space. It's a piece of equipment that's for everybody, because it's functional training, so it's resistance training.
Yeah.
But really easy on your joints.
Yeah.
So, my dad could use it. But then I could also use it. absolutely gorgeous. It's also our president's favorite piece of equipment.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
I asked him recently, and that was his answer.
So finally, Rebecca, can you tell us a bit about how interiors sort of come together with the fitness side, and sort of just more about your knowledge on the subject of how it all ties together?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the two sides of the coin are becoming more and more connected. We need beautifully designed wellness spaces because design has the ability to create an atmosphere, has the ability to change the way you feel in a space.
Yeah.
And so we put a lot of care and attention into the way the products are designed because we want them to have that feeling.
Yeah.
And the spaces are just as important. You know, what makes a great space is, like you were saying earlier, that the details from the main project are carried into the gym, that you feel well and at home. There's a role for lighting, there's a role for greenery, and also just giving the space room to breathe.
Yeah.
You know, having a lot of circulation, areas where people can talk and discuss. Like you said, all of that requires floor space.
Yeah.
So making sure that the shell that you're working with is appropriate is really
proper planning.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's not super complicated. It's all the considerations that you probably put into all of your regular spaces.
Yeah. But I think, like you said earlier, I think sometimes it just comes in at the last minute, doesn't it? It's sort of like an add-on of, oh, how should we fill that space?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Absolutely. So if there's one piece of advice I could give to designers that designing gyms is get excited about it and start thinking about it from the early stages.
Yeah.
And we're, of course, here to help on that journey. We have a team of interior designers in-house that support architects and designers. So
amazing. Well, thank you so much. That's been really interesting and great to hear more about what you're doing all about Technogym.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks for joining us. Well, hopefully we can, I feel like there's so much to talk about. We can try to get into another podcast.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Right. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Interior Insider. Remember to subscribe to be the first to listen to our latest episodes, and be sure to comment who you'd like to hear from next. Speak soon.